So we're on the air, guys. So Yuho and Ziggy and Thomas. Anyway, hopefully you're actually doing this and not just playing hockey. So let's go to the first question. Okay, guys, we're still working on number 4 here. What is? I'm sorry. Number 4 was make sure that. Okay. Anyway, let's look at number 1 and let's go ahead. Let's do these all together. Do them with me.
M plus N.
Thank you. So Kitty's right. It's going to be A to the M plus N, because when we multiply numbers, what we're going to do when we multiply, we're adding factors. Exponents are called factors, and we add the factors. We get M plus N. Next one, number 2. What is that?
A-N-N.
Okay, A to the what? M
N.
times N, right? And 3.
A-M-B-M.
Okay, shh. Young Bean. It's going to be A to the M, B to the M. Okay, now moving over to the other side. So let's practice some of these samples. So first thing, let's go ahead and multiply 1A. If you guys can stay just a little bit ahead of me, that would be great. Did anyone multiply 1A yet?
I got 3x to the 7th, y to the 3rd.
3x to the 7, y to the 3rd. So this is good so far. Right? Have you gotten all the way down to 2A, 3A?
Yeah.
Okay, so Claire, 2A?
X to the 6th.
X to the 6th. Now this one, people mess up on this one because they forget about the 3.
27.
The answer is 20. All right, so it's going to be, yes, it's going to be 27, X to the 6th, Y to the 9th. So we combine all those rules. All right? So let's go ahead and continue. Now, I think let's look at, okay, keep thinking about number 4, not having Claire be disruptive.
I was not disruptive.
What? You just had a conversation in the middle of my talking.
No,
In the middle of my teaching, I'm like going,
Minus N.
okay,
Yuho is going to be screwed if we keep
A to the M minus N. So what we do typically is we subtract the top the bottom exponent from the top one. The other way I say this, sometimes I go, who wins, top or bottom, and by how much? So number 4A, Claire.
I wrote the answer. You want to know it?
I'm glad you wrote the answer. I'm talking to other people. Oh, thank you. Okay, C to the 3rd. So let me back up just a little bit, because I don't want. That's actually, I'm going to write it down as C to the 9 minus 6, and which is actually is equal to C to the 3rd. Now, if we do the same rule with 4B, what happens?
You get negative 4.
I get A to the correct 3 minus 7, which equals A to the negative 4. What is A to the negative 4 also equal to?
1 over A4.
Yes. So 1 over A to the 4th. So it's worth noting that negative sign means that we need to make to get rid of the negative sign. What we need to do is invert it. And invert means to flip. And if you recall, sometimes we look at this as any number can be expressed as over 1. So if I flip this, if I invert A to the negative 4 over 1, I get 1 over A to the 4th. So the negative sign thinks invert, means flip it from one side to the other to make it positive. All right? I know that sounds simple, but in a moment it's going to be complicated. Make sure that makes sense. Let's keep doing the rest. Okay? So how about 4C?
4Z squared over X.
You guys are way ahead.
I think Claire is.
16x squared, y squared, z to the 4th, over
4x squared, y squared, z squared.
4x squared, y squared,
X4.
x to the 4th. Thank you. I hate the eraser on this thing. Okay.
It's going to be 4.
X to the 4th, y squared, z squared. And then we need to simplify it.
It's going to be 4z squared over x
X to
squared.
minus 2.
Okay, 4
X to the minus 2.
x to the minus 2,
And z to 2.
and z to the 2.
Yeah.
What happened to the y's?
They.
Okay.
Yes.
How can I also write that?
4z squared over x squared.
I could also write that as 4z squared over x squared if I invert that x to the negative 2, right? We're doing all right? Okay. Claire's done with the first 2 pages. Claire, if you're done with the first 2 pages, go ahead and move on to the 3rd page.
I'm almost done with the first 2.
Okay. So, yes.
Yuho wanted me to tell you that he's gonna miss you. He asked me to tell you.
Oh, Yuho, I miss you too. Oh.
So that's an okay interruption, but mine isn't.
I'm an old man. I'm allowed these senior moments. Yes.
Okay, so just write a final answer as 4x negative 2.
I think either answer, unless they specify. So there's 2 ways that you can. There's 2 ways that they may ask you to write the answer. One is just with positive exponents, and one of them might be with everything in the numerator. So in this case, they didn't specify, so either answer is fine. Let's go to the next ones. Ready? Can we go? That. How do I not touch that? Okay, it's going to be 27 x to the 3rd
We have also
Over 64.
over 64. Does this reduce at all? I don't think so.
No, it doesn't.
Next one is going to be 4.
1 over 5x squared.
I thought you skipped.
How about 25x squared, maybe?
Oh, never mind, I cannot multiply.
Okay. Now the next one, the question is, should I multiply by 2 first,
no.
or distribute the exponent first? All right. And the answer is, I'm gonna rewrite this as 2 times 9x squared over 16y squared.
You're welcome.
And what I can do is
80x squared
okay, yeah, we can reduce the 2
to 16.
with the 16, divide it out, and we're going to get, and our final answer should be 9x squared over 8y
Wait, what did you do?
squared. All I did is I could have multiplied the 9 by 2 and then divided and then reduced it, but I just, what Nina was just saying, is just make it simple. Let's just divide out the 2 on the top with the 16 on the bottom. So.
Can we do it normal? If we want, like, can we times it by?
You could have, yeah. If you wanted to, it would be fine to have written that as 18 over 16, and then you'd have to reduce it to 9/8. Okay, so that's fine. Oh, and I didn't do 5. 5 is going to be a to the m over a to the b to the m. So we can distribute the exponents. If you look at number 5, if you look at number 4 here. We can distribute the exponents over, oh shoot, that's not the right one. Let me go back. We can distribute the exponents over multiplication, but we can also distribute the exponents over division. So that's a to the m over b to the m. Got it? Okay, next page. We're still recording. Okay. Not 9 or anything else. Oh my God, I hate it when that happens.
6y to
Okay.
It's gonna be.
I keep. So let's finish this page. This is going to be a little bit more on negative exponents. And again, I think it's worth remembering is
It's gonna be 1.
The negative sign is asking us to invert that number. What does invert mean? It means anything on the top goes to the bottom, anything on the bottom goes to the top, right?
It's gonna be 1.
So if we look at this as being a to the negative n over 1, that negative sign means invert it. Change it to 1 over
8.
a to the positive n. Okay? So has everyone got that in their head? The minus sign means, again, what? Invert. Flip it to the other side. All right? So let's use that idea and let's go to 6a. What is that negative sign going to do for us? Okay, it's over 1 in a sense, so now it's going to be 1 over x squared. Next one. Again, we're going to invert it, but in this case, it's down on the bottom. Invert means bring it to the top. and make it positive, it's going to be x squared over 1 or just x squared. All right, you get the hang of it. After a while, you get the hang of this, right? That's the hang, exactly. Whatever language I said. Okay, so let's go through and let's get rid of all the negative exponents here.
You put the x and the z in the bottom.
Right, 5 can stay up there, right? The x is going to go to the bottom.
The y can stay up there too.
And the y can stay up here. And how about the z?
Z to the fourth goes on the bottom.
Z to the 4th. So now everything's positive.
Okay.
It says rewrite each of the following, assuming that A is not. Okay. So there it is.
KK.
Can you guys do 6D?
Of course. If it says 2 to the negative 1, is just
That means the 2 goes where?
at the bottom of
You
it.
multiply it by 7 though?
So 2 to the negative 1 means 2 down here.
Yeah, and then 7 can stay at the top.
7 is still in the bottom.
Why?
It never moved. It's not. The 7 is to the positive one.
We're flipping it.
Just the 2.
Why just the 2?
Okay, I'm gonna distinct. I'll show you in a minute.
2 is negative.
I'll show you what I mean in a minute. There's a difference between.
I mean, the 2 has a negative exponent.
It's not. It's a negative exponent.
But the negative exponent means you have to invert it.
Wait, do I bring
You're
it?
only flipping
It's
the
so smart.
negative.
Wait.
You're flipping the negative.
The only time you flip the whole thing, Claire, is if you have something like this. A over B to the negative 1 equals B over A. So if the whole fraction is to a negative exponent, then we flip the whole fraction. But if it's just one value, only the value gets flipped.
So whenever it's a negative, you just put it on the opposite side that it was originally
Yes,
on and make
that's
it positive.
it's another way to look at it. Yeah.
What about the rest of the ones? Like why?
Oh, let's keep going the rest of them. Let's go. So we got x squared.
Wait, if you're combining multiple things, like if I'm moving my y to the bottom, does it become y to the 6?
Okay, that's not. All right, let's just get rid of all the. Can we just? There's many ways that we can do this. Let's try it this way. Let's make all the exponents positive. So let's go over the top. The 2 to the negative 1, the 2 goes to the bottom. X squared can stay. How about y to the 5th, negative 5?
It has to go at the bottom.
It goes to the bottom, becomes y to the 5th.
But there's already a y at
And
the
then
bottom.
z, yep. I'll get there. And then there's a z to the what?
Third.
Z to the 3rd, and that goes where?
To Z to the bottom.
The bottom. Now let's go to the bottom numbers. What's down at the bottom is the 7. I already have the 7 written. All right. There's an x, and there's a y. And where does that z go?
Oh, to the top.
To the top. All right. So what I've done here is I've just made everything into a positive exponent. Now we can go ahead and simplify. All right.
Wait.
Where can we simplify? Is that we have 5 y's and 1 y.
It's gonna be x z to the 5.
So it's going to be,
X z to
Um,
the 5.
Mr. Shy,
yeah.
isn't the z supposed to be to the 3rd power, and then there's a z on top, which is z to the 8th, and then you like
Correct.
subtract it?
You're right. So let's do one letter at a time. How about the x's? How many x's do we have on the top?
We're gonna have 1x.
1 x on the top.
And then z to the 8th,
To the 5.
Z to the 5.
and then on the bottom 14,
Y to the 6.
x.
Oh, wait, how about the y?
6, z
Y to the 6 is on the bottom.
No, just x. Yeah.
14, y to the 6, z to the 3rd.
And that's the answer.
No, that's the answer.
But what about the x?
Wait.
There's an x next to the 7.
The
Forgot
x.
about that one.
No, it's good.
No, that's the x right there. I wrote it way over there. I know. Okay. So so the final answer is
Oh yeah, and then
this is a very complicated one, right?
Yeah.
Now, what you could have done, Claire, I think Claire may have just gone and you can also just subtract exponents from one side to the other too. You go, see where the x and the, you could go x to the 2,
Mr. Shy, it's y to the 5th, not to the 6th.
y to the, I think it's, the reason I think it's y to the 5th
No, it's y to
to
the
6th is because this, the y to the 5th on the top came down to become y to the 5th on the bottom. And then there's another y here.
Oh, wait, I didn't
So that should be 6y's
Wait,
total.
what happened to all the x's?
We
Why is there
canceled
only
it.
like x?
X's canceled.
There's only 2 x's on the top and 1 x on the bottom, so you leave there with 1 x on the top. Okay, I'm gonna pass on the next one. It's not beyond your ken, but
Beyond our what? My Ken?
My Ken doll.
it's not beyond your ability to do. You have a Ken doll?
Wait,
Whoa.
can I try it?
Okay. All right.
Can I try it?
The Ken doll.
No, can I tell you if my answer's right?
For this one here,
Yeah. Can I say my answer and see if it's right?
I don't even. Okay, let me do it real quick.
You do it and we'll see if we get this.
All right. So
No rush.
all right. 8 over 2, and then I'm gonna get to. It's gonna be x to the 5th. Did you make it all the positive exponents?
Yeah.
Y to the 4th, and z to the 10th. That should be.
It's gonna be 2x to the 5.
That's your answers right there. So it's gonna. Oh, I'm sorry. It's gonna be 4 x to the 5th over 2 y to the 4th z to the 10th.
It's gonna be 2.
That's the answer.
No, you can divide.
No, it's 4, not 2. That's not over 2. Sorry, it should be 4. Oh, you're right. Thank
It's
you.
gonna be 2.
Got it. This is 2 squared.
Wait, Mr. Shy.
She is right.
I did y to the 3rd. Because when I switched the y to the 1
I
on
also
the
did
top,
y to the third.
it's y to the 3rd, I think.
It's gonna be 2.
It's right. No, it's like this.
Y to the 3rd. You think it is?
Yeah, because you put the y to the 1 on the
Oh,
top
yeah,
and then they
yeah,
cancel.
Yeah, I think I like that idea. I'm gonna go with the y to the 3rd. So am I almost?
Have the answer?
Am I right yet?
Wait, how did you?
We don't have answer keys for these.
How do you? Oh,
I did not get that, but
Okay.
wait.
Okay. So which? Yeah, if you deal with one letter at a time.
I think it's Z to the.
You got z to the 10th. That's what it is. Did you ask me how I got z to the 10th?
Sorry, I forgot to add this.
Okay, we're almost.
Because it's 8.
oh, I forgot about the z.
It's 4.
Hang in there, Yuho.
Mr. Stein.
Was that?
4x
Yeah.
to the 5th.
No, she's no. Nina, notice it's 2 to the negative 2.
Oh.
So when it goes down, it becomes
So
2
it's 8 over
squared.
4 and
Yeah,
Yeah, but 2 squared is 4.
exactly. And then 8 over 4.
Oh, you divide?
Well, if
I thought you
it's
subtract.
8 over 4 as a fraction is what? 8 over 4, just 2. You have to get out of the exponents when you're doing the coefficients. Okay. All right, guys. We're stalling a little bit. We got a break coming up, though. I think we can do this in less than 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay. Question. It says, what's the difference between 2x to the negative 3rd and 2x to the negative 3rd?
Oh, the one with parentheses.
When I did it, should we divide the 2 also? Or is it 2, 5?
All right. This is going to be 2x to the 3rd. And this is going to be?
8x to the minus 3.
2 squared to minus 4.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
So, I know I've almost lost you all, but just so you can grab one more second. Do you see do you see the 2x to the negative 3?
Yeah.
I tend to get rid of the negative sign first and then deal with the exponent later.
Alright.
You know? So, again, the negative sign means invert. Bring it to the bottom. You see you can bring the whole thing to the bottom on this one, right? Almost there, guys. Now, this is the next section. Basically, it's just telling us that a to the 0, anything to the 0, is going to be equal to 1. Yeah, that's great. And it says,
What about 0 to the 0?
and if you look at over here, this kind of a cool little demonstration of the fact of why this works. What's a to the 4 over a to the 4? Is the same as a to the 4 minus 4, right?
Yeah.
And which is a to the 0, but it makes
Would it be 1?
it is 1. Yeah, but they're just kind of showing you kind of, yeah, just kind of demonstrating the point. Y is a to the 0, 1. A to the 0 is 1 because a to the 4 minus 4 is 0. Okay. So, all right, I'm glad you guys are so fascinated, but you know what? Can I just give you a hint? We put zeros on a couple questions on the final exam, and it really is probably worth it if you don't like them to just get rid of them right away. They basically when a number turns into 1, it just not there anymore. So I mean, if we look at 7D, for instance, that's going to be the same as 5BC over 25B squared. So you just remove the 0 because it's a 1, right? And now we can simplify a little bit further. It's going to be what's 5 over 25? 1/5. And there's going to be a B in the bottom and a C on the top, correct?
That's it. That's the answer.
And we don't need it. It's just going to be C over 5B.
That's the answer, right?
And that is the answer. Are we good? Okay. On.
Why would it be B in third?
Wait, stop. So that whole thing in there in the 70 is 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the final answer is just
And 7.
Wait, what was
7C, yeah. It's X or Y.
so the answer here is just 3x squared y.
No, they're asking about 7C.
What's that?
Oh, I already got the answer, Mr. Shine.
Oh, I didn't do C? Oops, sorry. What is C equal to, guys?
1. X, no, or
1. Anything to
The 0 distributes.
the whole big thing in the parentheses, doesn't matter what's in the parentheses, right? It's equal to 1. Okay?
Does it matter if it's negative?
What's Claire to the 0 power?
1.
There he is. 4 to the 0 is also 1.
Imagine more than one player. It's like multiple players.
Okay. All right. All right. So, all right. Now, listen. Almost done. In summary. And I'm going to add one thing to the summary. It says what we should know and understand. All right. A to the m over n is what?
I have a question first.
Oh yes, ma'am.
If you did like negative x to the third, and then you had to times it by like the second exponent, let's say, is it negative x to the sixth?
Okay.
Keep the negative sign.
Give me a question again. Say it again.
Go to number 5, and you see how it says negative y third, and then you distribute the 2. Is it negative y?
Okay.
to
The negative in front of the y has nothing to do with the exponent. So
So it's negative y 6.
don't even associate it with anything.
Negative y 6.
Correct. Okay. Give you an example. Let me just give you another thing to think about. Say I have negative y over 1 to the negative 1. Shh, guys, listen. Claire's got a good point. Look up here in the upper right-hand corner. That negative sign. You know, there's about 100% chance that one of you is going to get this wrong on the final. Please don't be that 1%. That one person. Do you see up there it says negative y to the negative 1?
Yeah.
The negative in front of the y has 0 to do with exponents. All right. What is this equal to? 1 over negative y.
Yeah.
Okay. Notice that just like when you see a number, a negative sign in front of the number, and you're dealing with exponents, just ignore it. Don't even associate it with what's going on with the exponent. Okay? And that now the only other thing that I want to add to this thing is what happens when we have a over b to the negative 1. What is that equal to? If I have a whole fraction to the negative 1, then I flip the whole fraction. Okay? So what things do we know? Let's quickly do this one. A to the m over n is going to be a to the m minus n. A to the negative n.
1
over a-n.
What is 1 over a to the n? Negative n.
A-n over 1 or
Okay, that's fine. A to the n over 1 is fine. All right. A b over the m.
a AN over BM.
BM. And then a to the 0 is
1.
1. Now, I'm just going to do, before I give you the guided practice, I'll give you a break and then go to the guided practice. I did want to go to, I did look at, I want to show you, okay, this one here, number 14. Okay. Number 14, do you see where it says the whole fraction? Guys, I can give you a break, I swear. You see the whole fraction is to the negative 1?
Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean? What should we do first?
Distribute the exponent.
The negative 1 on the outside means what about the fraction? I wrote it up here too.
It means it goes to the
Oh.
whole thing.
It means flip the whole thing. All right, so this is the same as 2 to the negative 1 over 2 to the negative 3 times 4 squared. All it did was flip what was inside. Didn't have to do anything to anything
And
inside.
then can't your answer be 2 over 3? I mean 2 to the third over 2 to the 1 times 4 to the second.
Correct. Now,
Simplify out.
and Landon, you saw something, and I believe you're going to be right in a moment. So what she's saying is, you got, and Claire's saying, let's bring the 2 to the third up, and let's bring the 2 to the negative 1 down, and the 4 squared stays. So we have 2 times 2 times 2 is 8 over 4 squared is 16 times 2 is 32, which equals 1/4. Now, Landon, the other thing we can do, the other way we could have done this is we could have distributed this exponent over all these exponents. What would have happened if I did it that way?
Oh, you just get a positive.
You get 2 to the 3 times 4 to the negative 2, right, over 2. So, does everyone see that there's 2 ways? The 2 ways that I can do this is either flip it first, look up here, flip it first, and then deal with the exponents this way, or you can distribute the exponent to all these numbers. Only one or the other. Okay? You guys want to take a 5-minute and then see if you can't finish this thing in the time. I'm hoping you'll be able to finish it by 10 past or so, quarter past. So guys, take a break, please.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw.
Okay. Yoo-hoo. Ziggy. Thomas. Time to get to work, right. All right. So, anyway, gentlemen, just try to do as much of this sheet as you can. There's a homework assignment in addition to this that if you understand this, you should be able to do. And how does this, Nina, how does this compare to like a lot of the European stuff you guys from math 1 and 2?
That is so basic.
Should the Czech and the Slovak and my Finn be able to do this okay?
I was kind of opening this head up.
You know this stuff before? Okay. So Nina told me that you guys should do this really well. Just kidding. Bye. All right.
You're so weird.
Oh, can you say goodbye?
Bye.
Sounds so much better to me. All right, gentlemen. Good luck. Actually, let me just add one more thing, guys. That the rest of the pages follow on this. You can see all the questions the way to the end, and their answers are also there at the end, including the homework assignment that's due. I know it's rather big, but who knows? Maybe you'll have time to do it. Take care.